Yo, what's going on, man? In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about why the little things make a difference, all right? Especially when it comes to fitness. So, when it comes to fitness, all right, a lot of people, especially if you've been working out for a bit in a while now, you may have faced like a plateau where maybe perhaps you're not putting on as much muscle as you'd like. You're not seeing like your muscles actually growing, right? But like you see yourself, you're pushing yourself, you're increasing the weight every time, you're hitting PRs and all this other stuff, but you're not noticing the muscles actually growing. And part of the reason why is because it's the small things that will help boost your chances of building bigger muscles. The number one thing I suggest when people are lifting is to always remember to have mind-muscle connection, because this is really important when building muscle. When you're actually doing the exercise, you need to do it in a way where you're feeling the full contraction of the actual muscle that's working. If you're not feeling it when you're working out, how are you expecting it to grow? You're just basically using your limbs and joints and whatever power you have. It's the same way you see people doing bicep curls and they're just swinging the weight up. They're not actually contracting the actual bicep. You need to feel the actual muscle being worked and getting pushed. You should feel like a pump going to that muscle that you're actually working. That's when you know you're having proper mind-muscle connection. And you might have to lower the weight, and that's okay. You need to lower your ego. Sometimes it's better to lift maybe not your heaviest, but slightly below, but you're getting better contraction on the lifts. So that's gonna actually activate your muscles to actually fucking grow. All right. A lot of people who've been lifting for a while, they just think, oh, I just need to increase strength. That's right. Or I just need to increase the weight every single time. And while that does help, that's going to help build your strength. If you want to build muscle, you need to contract them. You need to actually feel them being worked. That's how they actually grow faster. All right. And the second thing too, that's one little thing. The second thing too, you need to be going 10 out of 10 intensity when it comes to your sets. If you're able to do more than 10 reps of a particular weight, you know that weight is too much, or that weight is too light for you. And if you're barely able to do more than 4 or 5 reps, you know that weight is too heavy for you. The perfect range, I always say, is that by the time you get to your last set, whether it's 3 or 4 sets, whatever you do, by the time you get to the last set, your muscles should be so fatigued that you want to aim for 10, but you're barely getting 8. By the time you get to 8, you're like, oh man, I don't even know if I have 2 more in the tank. You just pump out those last 2 with every single ounce of force you have, and then complete the set. It's like you need to train until failure. People think failure is like when I feel a little bit discomfort. No, when you can tell if you're training to failure, when the last couple reps is when you're doing the movement, it's very slow. You're not doing them fast. It's very slow because you're using every single ounce of energy within you to push the actual weight. All right, and it's very slow because your muscles are so fatigued, and you need to go to the point where literally you can't push out another rep or curl another rep or whatever exercise you're doing, man. That you need to be training with intensity, man. That's another thing. We have that you need to be making sure that you have mind-muscle connection, but you also need to be training with intensity too. All right. And the third thing that may make a difference is maybe just potentially switching up the workouts every once in a while. People think that because they have a certain routine that they have to do that routine forever. No, there's multiple ways to work out chest. There's multiple ways to work out legs. You're shocking the muscles when you're changing things up. That's like, have you ever noticed, like, when you ever changed like a fitness plan, you started getting bigger out of nowhere? It's because you're not doing the same exercise anymore in your body. Because when you do the same exercises over and over again, your body gets used to it and knows what's coming. But when you do a different exercise, like maybe instead of doing the free weights, you do the machine, it's like the body's like, what the fuck? I have to adjust to this because doing the machine is slightly different than doing the actual dumbbells, all right? And those are just small things that really make a difference when it comes to the growth of your actual muscle, all right? Now, this is even just beyond fitness. I like to talk about fitness a lot, but I always relate it to real life to show that a lot of what you learn in fitness is foundation for everything else in life. When you focus on the little things, all right, it will trickle around, meaning it will help in the long term. An example I give is like when you start making your bed. It may be so simple, and you heard this probably self-help advice from everyone: make your bed. And you're not going to be successful, get a ripped body, or be ultra famous just by making your bed. But what it's doing is that by making your bed, you feel slightly accomplished, and you're holding yourself to a higher standard, because now you're associating yourself with being like a cleaner person. Because you're associating yourself with being maybe a more tidy and cleaner person. Let's say when you go down for breakfast, you have your cereal or whatever you have for breakfast, you actually wash the plate and put it in the dishwasher. You don't leave shit hanging around, because when you tidy your bed, now because you've been tidying your bed, you want to also tidy the dishes, and then from the dishes it may be your car, and like it's just a trickling effect when you focus on the small things. The small things over a long enough period of time is what actually grows the actual person you want to be, man. All right? It's just not emphasized enough, because everyone just wants to focus on the macro. You need to focus on the micro to maximize the macro. All right? Anyways, man, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys can, give it a like, subscribe, share with someone. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next.